Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So happy Mother's Day. I know it's tomorrow. I'm recording this on the 11th, but you know, it's when I get a chance. If I upload it today, I'll upload today. If I upload it tomorrow, it happens tomorrow. But whatever. Happy Mother's Day. This is my list of books about motherhood that I have not read that I want to read. They're kind of all over the place, you know. So we'll see. I don't know much about them, but let's just get to it. So first one I have is The Secret Mother by Kelly Rimmer. I've had this on my list forever. This sounds like one of her contemporaries. Most people have read The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer, and I think her newest one, The German Wife or something, but nobody really talks about her older books or like her contemporaries. I love her as an author, but I haven't read this one. So here's a description. As I saw my newborn baby's face for the first time, I tried desperately to capture her face in my mind, to stamp it onto my eyelids. As she was taken from me, I knew I might never see my daughter again. 38 years later. You were adopted. 3 short words and Sabina's life fractures. There would forever be a before those words and an after. Pregnant with her own child, Sabina can't understand how a mother could abandon her daughter, or why her parents have kept the past a secret. Determined to find the woman who gave her away, what she discovers will change everything, not just for Sabina, but for the women who have loved her all these years. So I'm very curious to know what the secret is, like all of that, and yet I have not read it. Next, we have A Day Like This by Kelly McNeil. I actually had this on my list forever, too. And recently, Chloe from Always Booked reminded me that it existed, because she had it on her list of, like, sort of time travel books. So, yeah. What if everything you've ever loved, ever known, ever believed to be true just disappeared? Annie Bayers has everything. A beautiful house, a loving husband, and an adorable daughter. It's a day like any other when she takes Hannah to the pediatrician until she wakes hours later from a car accident. When she asks for her daughter, confused doctors tell Annie that Hannah never existed. In fact, nothing after waking from the crash is the same as Annie remembers. 5 happy years of her life apparently never happened. Annie's marriage is coming to an end. Now a successful artist living in Manhattan, she's no longer home in their beloved upstate farmhouse. Her long estranged sister is more like a best friend, and her recently deceased dog is alive and well. With each passing day, Annie's remembered past and unfamiliar present begin to blur. Haunted by visions of Hannah, and with knowledge of things she can't explain, Annie wonders, is everyone lying to her? The search for answers leads Annie down an illuminating path far from home to reconcile the memories with reality and to discover the truth about the life she's living. I'm interested. Next is The Child I Never Had by Kate Hewitt. She's another author that I don't hear anyone talk about, but I love her books. I discovered her when I started listening to Audible. So this is one I have not read. If you had to make an impossible choice to save your long-lost daughter, you would, wouldn't you? It's a warm, early summer evening when Mia's doorbell rings. She opens the door to see a teenage girl standing in the shadow beyond the porch light, and in an instant she knows who it is. Daisy, the daughter she gave up as a baby. Daisy steps forward as she says, tearfully, I'm sorry I didn't call first, but something happened and I really need you. 17 years before, knowing she couldn't possibly give her beautiful little girl, Daisy, the future she deserved, Mia made the hardest decision of her life, to give her up. And Suzanne seemed the perfect adoptive mother, calm, stable, and full of love for the daughter she'd always dreamed of having. The two mothers promised to keep communication open, so Daisy could have Mia's love and support along with Suzanne's. But as the years passed, Mia moved away and their visits happened less. Now Daisy is almost a stranger to Mia, angry, closed, and broken, nothing like the tiny girl she once couldn't bear to say goodbye to. But now Daisy has arrived on Mia's doorstep, and she says she has a terrible secret, one she can never tell Suzanne, and she believes the only person who can help her is Mia, her birth mother. Mia, however, has secrets of her own, ones she is afraid to let Daisy or anyone else know. And while Suzanne desperately seeks a way to bring her child home, can Mia overcome her past to help the girl they both call their daughter in her darkest hour before it's too late? Interesting. I really want to know what the secret is, and I just have not picked this up. Maybe I'll read it this month. We'll see. I have a lot I want to read. Next is, this one looks more like mommy politics / kind of comedy. It's called Little Wonders by Kate Rorick. I'm pretty sure that I heard about this one from Amanda from On the Middle Shelf. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, okay. Her mommy meltdown is seen around the world. When Quinn Barrett's son refuses to wear his handcrafted costume to the Little Wonders preschool Happy Halloween parade and dance party, she loses it, complete with stomping, screaming, and costume destruction galore. Not her best day. And caught on viral video. Yep. Halloween Mom is now internet famous. The posting culprit, tattooed, blue-haired, West Coast transplant Daisy McGulch, out of place in the posh New England town and unable to blend with the other perfect mommies of Little Wonders preschool. While she couldn't care less about organic snacks, paleo preferred, or the winter quarters of the Little Wonders chickens, she's not about to admit she's the one who accidentally brought Quinn's worst moments to the entire world. She'd be kicked out of town. But when Quinn and Daisy find themselves unlikely cohorts in the fight for Little Wonders Parents Association supremacy, they also discover they have more in common than they expect. But the internet is forever. Can Quinn live down her new reputation? And how far will Daisy go to keep the truth from coming to light? This sounds wild, and funny. You know, it's one of those, mommy politics things where, everything's a competition. I don't know. I wouldn't mind hearing more about that meltdown. Anyway. Next we have To Be a Mother by Emma Robinson. She's another author that I found that nobody talks about, really. I think, again, the only one who ever talked about it was Chloe from Always Booked. And I think the one book she read she wasn't super into. But I've loved most of her books. And this one sounds really good. I actually have 2 of her books on this list. So this one's called To Be a Mother. What if your only chance to be a mother was to give birth to his first wife's child? All I've ever wanted is to be a mother. And since I married David, it's gone from being a dream of mine to a dream of ours. And I want it for him too. It's the happy ever after he deserves after the tragic loss of his first wife, Catherine. We have tried and we've hoped. But today I've just found it's impossible. That I'm unable to become a mother. My heart breaks into 1,000 pieces. I beg the doctor to tell me there's another way. But it's David who speaks, telling me that just before Catherine died, she had gone through fertility treatments. Now her eggs legally belong to David. To us. It could be my only chance to be the mother I've always longed to be. But can I really carry his first wife's baby? I mean, this is wild. Yikes. The mom is dead and you, have her kids? And yet they're his kids too? I don't know. That's wild. And what about her parents? Catherine's parents? You say, hey, you're going to be a grandparent even though your daughter is no longer with us. I'm going to carry your grandchildren. That's odd. Science is fascinating. Anyway, next we have The Gifted School by Bruce Halsinger. I'm not going to read the description of this one just because it's kind of weird. But it's basically all these moms, like 4 different families competing to get their kids into this gifted school and kind of the pressures that they're under. It sounds interesting. Okay, here's one that I've been wanting to read forever. The Way It Should Be by Christina Suzanne Nelson. I have had her books on my TBR for a while. I own some of them, and yet I have not read a one. Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails just had her on her channel, and I have saved the video to watch too. But I have not read her book, so I don't want to watch it and spoil myself by accident. So I need to read at least one of her books. But I think I heard about this one from Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. Hold on. This one's called The Way It Should Be by Christina Suzanne Nelson. After years of estrangement, the lives of Zara Mahoney and her twin sister Eve are suddenly and completely intertwined again. Eve's troubled lifestyle causes the state to take custody of her 2 children and contact Zara and her husband, asking them to consider foster care. Newlyweds Zara thought she'd finally been given a fresh start and feels wholly unprepared to care for a niece and nephew whose existence she wasn't even aware of. Meanwhile, Eve may have a real chance to start over this time with the help of Tiff Bradley, who's dedicated to helping women everyone else has given up on, after facing a heartbreaking tragedy in her own family. Sounds interesting. I don't know. I think Amanda from Book Lover Amanda's also read a couple of her books, but I don't know if she's read this one. Anyway, yeah, I want to read it. Next we have My Stepmother's Secret by Emma Robinson. This one I really want to read, but I cannot. This one's another one of those that Audible does not have in the US. It's only in the UK. I don't know what makes people decide which of certain authors' books get brought here and which don't. Because, most of hers have come here, but not this one. And I want it! This one is about a single mother who brings her kids. For some reason, she has nowhere to go, so she brings her kids to her stepmother, but they don't get along for some reason, and I guess it's about their relationship. What's her secret, I guess? But I want it. Anyway, next we have Girls and Their Horses by Eliza Jane Brazier. This sounds like, from what I've read, I bought this last year and I still have not read it. It was last year's one of the summer releases. This sounds kind of like Big Little Lies, just with horses. Set in the glamorous competitive world of show jumping. A novel about the girls who ride, their cutthroat mothers, and a suspicious death at a horse show. When the Nouveau Riche Parker family moves to an exclusive community in the heart of Southern California, they believe it's their chance at a fresh start. Heather Parker is determined to give her daughters the life she never had, starting with horses. She signs them up for riding lessons at Rancho Santa Fe Equestrian, where horses are a lifestyle. Heather becomes a barn mom, part of a group of wealthy women who hang at the stables, drink wine, and prepare their daughters for competition. It's not long before the Parker family is fully enmeshed in the horse world, from mean girl cliques to barn romance and dark secrets. With the end of summer horse show fast approaching, the pressure is on, and these mothers will stop at nothing to give their daughters everything they deserve. But before the summer is over, lives will turn lethal, accidents will happen, and someone will end up dead. That's freaky. And yet I want to know what happens. But, yeesh. Horse jumping sounds terrifying. Next we have The Mothers by Sarah J. Naughton. 5 women. They meet at their NCT group. The only thing they have in common is they're all pregnant. 5 secrets. 3 years later, they are all good friends. Aren't they? 1 missing husband. Now the police have come knocking. Someone knows something. And the trouble with secrets is that someone always tells. Cool, huh? Next is You Are Always Mine by Joe Piazza and Christine Pride. They wrote another book called We Are Not Like Them a few years ago. I've been wanting to read this one, but I haven't had a chance. So basically, this one sounds like it's about a woman who finds... Wait. Yeah, a white woman who finds a black baby and wants to keep her, and then there's like a custody battle or whatever. So there's like race that comes into it. I'll just read the description. Cinnamon Haynes has fought hard for a life she never thought was possible. A good man by her side, a steady job as a career counselor at a local community college, and a cozy house in a quaint little beach town. It may not look like much, but it's more than she ever dreamed of or what her difficult childhood promised. Her life's mantra is to be good, quiet, grateful, until something shifts and Cinnamon is suddenly haunted by a terrifying, "Is this all there is?" Daisy Dunlap has had her own share of problems in her 19 years on Earth. She also has her own big dreams for a life that's barely begun. Her hopes and future are threatened when she gets unexpectedly pregnant. Desperate, broke, and alone, she hides this development from everyone close to her and then makes a drastic decision with devastating consequences. Daisy isn't the only one with something to hide. When Cinnamon finds an abandoned baby in a park and takes a blonde-haired, blue-eyed newborn into her home, the ripple effects of this decision risk exposing the truth about Cinnamon's own past, which she's gone to great pains to portray as idyllic to everyone, even herself. As Cinnamon struggles to contain old demons, navigate the fault lines that erupt in her marriage, and deal with the shocking judgment from friends and strangers alike about why a woman like her has a baby like this, her one goal is to do right by the child she grows more attached to with each passing day. It's the exact same conviction that drives Daisy as she tries to outrun her heartache and reckon with her choices. These two women, unlikely friends and kindred spirits, must face down their secrets and trauma and unite for the sake of the baby they both love in their own unique way. When Daisy's grandparents, who would rather die than see one of their own raised by a black woman, threaten to take custody. Once again, okay. So, big time custody battle. Next we have Ties That Bind by Cindy Woodsmall. This is a series. It sounds like it's the Amish version of Switched at Birth. Two babies get switched. Anyway, my siblings just got here, so I need to finish this quick. Next we have The Mothers by Genevieve Gannon. What if you gave birth to someone else's child? An emotional family drama about two couples, one baby, and an unimaginable choice. Grace and Dan Arden are in their 40s and have been on the IVF treadmill since the day they got married. 6 attempts have yielded no results, and with each failure, a little piece of their hope dies. Priya Loggery and her husband Nick Archer are being treated at the same fertility clinic, and while they don't face the same time pressure as the Ardens, the younger couple have their own problems. On the same day that Priya is booked for her next IVF cycle, Grace goes in for her final last chance embryo transfer. 2 weeks later, both women get their results. A year on, angry and heartbroken, one of the women learns her embryo was implanted in the other's uterus and must make a devastating choice: live a childless life knowing her son is being raised by strangers, or seek custody of a baby who has been nurtured and loved by another couple. Cool, huh? I'm in. Next we have The Year of Goodbyes and Hellos by Kelly Irving. I heard about this one from Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. We're almost done here. Two sisters work to heal lingering childhood wounds and seek a new balance in work, family, marriage, and love when one receives a diagnosis that sets the clock ticking. Determined to save Sherry's life, Kristen drops everything to guide her sister on the harrowing cancer treatment journey. When she's unable to balance the strain of caring for her patients, being a wife and mother, and her frantic efforts to save her sister, Christine's carefully balanced life crumbles, starting with her marriage. Desperate to regain her footing, she vows to rebuild her broken relationships as soon as she's sure Sherry will beat the odds stacked against her. Unlike her sister, Sherry Reynolds has worked to cultivate balance in her life. Her children, her job as a teacher, and her strong faith keep her grounded until her diagnosis sends her spiraling into the scary world of what ifs and unknown outcomes. Sherry faces the agonizing realization that family history may be about to repeat itself. As with the clock ticking, she's determined to use whatever time she has left to heal old wounds and restore relationships. Together, the sisters are forced to re-examine their priorities, address the still tender wounds of their childhood, and delve more deeply to discover what it means to live each day to its fullest. Yeah, this one sounds kind of like a sister story, but I mean, there's a woman with cancer with children. I'd say that's motherhood. Next, we have Days of Wonder by Carolyn Levitt. As a teenager, for a moment, Ella Fitchburg found love, yearning, breathless love that consumed both her and her boyfriend, Jude, as they wandered the streets of New York City together. But her life was unexpectedly upended when she was accused of trying to murder Jude's father, an imperious Superior Court judge, and sentenced to 25 years in prison. When she learned she's pregnant, shortly after sentencing, she reluctantly decides to give up the child. Ella is released after serving only 6 years. While she is desperate to turn the page on a new life, she can't seem to let go of her past. With only an address as a possible lead, she moves to Ann Arbor, Michigan, determined to get her daughter back. Forced to hide her identity and complicated past and live in a constant state of deception, she finds that what she's been searching for all along is a way to uncover and live with the truth. Yet, a central mystery endures. Neither Jude nor Ella can remember the events leading up to the attempted murder, that fateful night which led to Ella's conviction. So it sounds like they're going to try to figure out this murder, and she also wants to get her kid back. So, custody battle and a murder mystery. Next we have Perfect Parents by L.G. Davis. I gave them my baby, but can I trust them? Giving away my child is the hardest decision I've ever had to make. But when I moved into the Thorpe's stunning home so they can support me through the pregnancy, it seems like they are everything I could have hoped for. They cook me delicious, healthy meals and make sure I'm getting the best medical care. They never question my background or why I'm giving them my child. But before long, I begin to wonder if something is very wrong with the Thorpes. I try to ignore how Travis lets his hand linger on mine for a little too long, and how Marcia comes to check on me during the night. I tell myself that when they control and monitor my movements, it's just because they care. Keeping my baby safe and making sure they are going to the perfect family means everything to me. But when a threatening note turns up outside my door and I begin to unravel the Thorpe's secrets, I realize I may not make it out of here alive. After everything I've been through, I'm not going to give up without a fight, and I'll do anything to keep my baby safe. Ooh, that's the last one. So yeah, these all sound really interesting. I guess, yeah, let me know which ones you're interested in reading, or if you have any others I might like. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video before the twins burst in.
Speech on. Stop recording video.